Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Judith Patterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, and today is Friday. That means I'm going to be making a card from the catalog. If you've been watching my videos for a while now, you probably know that Stampin' Up's publications are my favorite places to find inspiration for card making and other paper crafts. Mostly card making. So I, on Fridays, like to make a card from the catalog or the mini catalog or the celebration brochure. You never know, but it's from Stampin' Up. And today is no exception. I'll be making a card from the 2021-2022 annual catalog. It's found on page 33. Sometimes when I create these cards, I make a few little changes. Sometimes I change quite a lot to where you can hardly recognize that it is a card from the catalog. And sometimes I don't change anything. I just copy it exactly as it is. So this time, let me go ahead and flip my camera around. There it is. All right. So this time I'm changing the color scheme, but everything else is exactly the same. Even the designer series paper is the same set of designer series paper. So this is Pansy Petals DSP. Comes in 12 by 12 sheets, but I like to cut it smaller just to keep at my desk. So all my sheets aren't cut this small, just enough so that I can flip through it really quick without having to get the whole thing out. So instead of using, I've got something turned backwards here. Yes, instead of using this Pale Papaya gingham that they used in the catalog, I decided to go with the soft succulent gingham. So, and this is what the other side of this looks like. So, instead of using the Pale Papaya and Flirty Flamingo inks for my ice cream, I decided to go with soft sea foam for the lighter shades, and then for the darker shade I'm just using the soft succulent to match the paper. And the card base I'm using is also soft succulent. So this sheet of designer series paper is cut 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. Couldn't find my clippy. And then I've got scraps in different sizes for my ice cream cones and my ice cream. And then for the inside, I have a sheet of basic white cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So in addition to the sweet ice cream stamp set, you're also going to need the ice cream builder punch. And I think that this would be cute too. If you have the penguins, this would be super cute with all 3 penguins going across the front. Okay, so I'm going to start by just going ahead. I'm going to put some liquid glue on the back of this. You can use Stampin' Seal if you like that better, or Terran tape, but I really like using the liquid glue. And I'm going to put this on here crooked. There we go. That was easy. So now I'm just going to set that to the side. When I'm using punches like this, I always turn them upside down so that I get an idea of how to stamp. So I'll put this here so you can see it. So I'm just going to grab this long piece of basic white cardstock, and you can check and make sure that it's going to fit in there easy, and that you have enough room to hold it. If it's too short, you can always grab a post-it note, stick it to the tip, and slide it in, and that'll help you got it in place. So I'm using soft suede for the cone part. I'm going to start by stamping off, and then stamping. And I might have just messed up because I angled that quite a lot, didn't I? And I'm going to do 4 of these. I didn't stamp all the way to the top on that one because I want to be able to place it in really easy. I don't want to have to get out a Post-it note. Not this time. Okay, so those are all stamped. That's my inside. Oop, I have one more larger piece of basic white cardstock. So while this is open, and before I cut, I'm going to stamp this waffle design in the center of these cones without stamping off. Because I want this part to be darker. Okay, so now I can close this up. For the next step, I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, actually. Let's go ahead and punch them and get them totally ready to go. And then I can see what's left, and I might just use some of these to do the snow cone, or the, why do I keep saying snow cone? The ice cream. So when I stamp the ice cream, I'm not going to stamp off first. I'm going to just stamp it full strength. Okay, see, now that's not going to go in there. So I'm just going to, you can grab your paper snips and snip it off, but I'm just going to see if tearing it will work. And yes, that did give me enough room. Okay, so see, now I can turn this around and stamp the ice cream on this end. So I'm going to get that soft sea foam. And so I'm going to be putting it in like this. So I want this to be facing this way. I can put one on that end, and I can flip it around and put one on this end. And then I'm also going to put one on this end. So do you ever do those puzzles where you have to, they're geometry puzzles where you have to figure out how things will fit? That's kind of what I think of whenever I think of this. But do you know what I did? I did all those in the same color. I didn't need those to be in the same color. I needed two of them to be darker. So this is what I'm going to do. Flipping that over. Look, I've already messed up on it once. But I think I have enough room. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to leave that one as it is. I'm going to flip this one over. So if I cut this one out, I'm going to put one right there. And then I'm going to put one right here. Okay, let's see how all this works out. While I have this out, I'm going to grab that larger scrap. I meant to cut this earlier and I forgot. So I'm just going to stamp pretty close to the bottom. That way I don't have to cut too much. There we go. So there's our happy birthday. Oh my word. I skipped a step. Boy. Okay, so if you're following along, before you do this part, you want to stamp around the edges with the little confetti stamp. So you would just go along and stamp once around the edges would be plenty with the soft succulent ink, and then put your designer series paper on. But it's okay without the confetti. I like stamping partly because it is so forgiving. So forgetting small steps like the one I just forgot. And look, I stamped that one backwards. So I'm going to do this. So forgetting those little steps is not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. This, since I stamped it wrong, I'm just going to turn it sideways and hold it this way instead. All right, let's get this card put together, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and take out my paper trimmer, and I'm cutting this 1 inch by so I would cut it 3 1/4 inches. I'm gonna have to do a skosh shorter than that because I want my edge to be straight, and it would have been weird. I ran out of room. All right, so I'm gonna start by gluing the tops of the 2 soft sea foam, and I did this backwards too. I don't know where my brain is at today. So there we go. That goes there. Center this up. Keep it low. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Yep, that looks great. So I'm just going to leave that there. I keep moving it, and the glue spot is showing. Okay, so a little bit back on the back of this one. You really don't need a lot of glue, not even as much as I'm using, because you don't want this smearing everywhere, and it's going to be attached to the card with Stampin' Dimensionals anyway. Remember, this is the one I messed up on. There we go. That's just a little bit of glue just to keep it stuck for a minute while we get it on the card. There we go. So I want this dark one to be in the center. I'm going to grab my dimensionals, and I'm going to put 3 dimensionals on the back of this. One at the top, one at the middle overlapping the 2 pieces, and then one at the bottom. Do y'all hear our crazy rooster outside? We have so many roosters, it's not even funny, and they crow all day long. They don't crow just a little bit in the morning. They crow constantly. And we've got our windows open today because it is a very warm December day in Texas. It's nice to have a little bit of fresh air with the windows open. And it's also nice to keep that electricity bill down just a little bit by opening the windows on days like this. All right, so for this happy birthday, I'm going to use 3-dimensionals on the back of it also. I'm going to put one, whoops, I grabbed 4. One in the middle and one on each end. Then I'm just going to put this right here. And that keeps everything at the same level. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool and the 2021 to 2023 in color jewels. I'm going to use these soft succulent jewels. And I'm going to do them just like the gems in the catalog were done. Or pretty close anyway. Need to adjust my tacky stuff. There we go. So there's the front of the card minus the confetti dots around the edges, or the sprinkles, if you will. So I am going to go ahead and use these dots. I'm going to grab my soft suede again, and I am going to make my ice cream mint chocolate chip because that is my favorite ice cream. So this is the one I'm using for the inside of the card. See, doesn't that look like mint chocolate chip ice cream? I think it's perfect. And I'm not even going to glue those two together. I am going to grab my 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white cardstock. Close this up. I'm going to get that soft succulent back out. And this says, "Hope It's Sweet." And just to get an idea of where I want to stamp this, so I'm going to stamp it right there. Close this up. I'm going to go ahead and put the liquid glue on the back of this. And place it inside the card. Now I'm going to glue the cone inside. Did you see that? That was me getting an idea of where I wanted to put the cone, just to be sure. Then I'm gonna put the ice cream on top. And all done. So happy birthday. Hope it's sweet. And in my mind, this is mint ice cream with pistachio ice cream on either side. So I don't know if you like these ice creams or if you would prefer to do it the way the card in the catalog was, where you have maybe peach and strawberry ice creams. But that's all I have for you today. I did want to remind you real quick that the mini catalog is almost at its end, and that means that the products, a lot of them are retiring, and some of them have already sold out. So I do have a list linked in the description below. If you want to go take a look at that to see what's already gone and what is still around, then you're welcome to do that. I'm trying to update that. I started out trying to update it every day. Turns out I forget. So, or I just flat out don't have time. So I'm trying to do it every maybe 2 or 3 days, just so that you can see what is low in stock and what is gone and what's still available. Some things are carrying over. Some things will come back next year in 2022 in the the July to December catalog. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I love it when I get notified that someone has subscribed to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all have a blessed day. Happy stamping!